Change your scenery this morning. My house is full, so I've come out with my dog. Kixes, Kixes, say hi. So I really hope you can hear me. Typically there was no wind, and then as soon as I've come up here, the wind has started. But I'm really hoping you can hear me. So let's talk about the lymph. So what do we know? We know by now, as we're coming to the end of this April's challenge, but I really do hope that everyone's going to keep doing their lymphatic work. And we know that everything drains through the collarbones. Okay, so it's really important that we pay particular attention to that area. And also our diaphragm. So we have our biggest lymph node in the body here. So diaphragmatic breathing and deep breathing is so important throughout the day. And having a morning practice is just so important. When we sleep, our subconscious is still working. I think this is not going to go live again. So when we're sleeping, our subconscious is still working. So a lot of the time we can wake up in the morning and not be in the best mood. So having a morning practice, whether it's meditation or breathing, is so useful. And that's why I would encourage everybody to start the day with some diaphragmatic breathing, because you're really then starting to pump your lymphatic system. And especially if you have a lot of swelling, around your legs, like this is just so important. But what I wanted to talk about today was like the neck position. So if we know that everything drains through the, where the collarbones are, oh gosh, this is really windy, I hope everyone can hear me, and everyone has this text neck position, it's really putting a lot of strain through there, and it can cut off the area where our lymph wants to flow to, not only from our body, but from our head and our neck. And a third of our lymphatic nodes do live above the collarbone area, and we want to be able to drain our brain at night time, so we can get rid of all that old debris and have a better night's sleep, really. But also, when we think about the vagus nerve that comes out of a hole back here, and then comes down here and then wraps around the esophagus, if we have this forward head position, that's also going to have an impact on the vagus nerve, which is then going to affect your stress levels and how well you heal from anything. So one of the most important things I can stress is your tongue position. And again, we have all this lymphatics in our face. Our tongue is so important in this beautiful system that we have. So just for a moment, check in right now. Is your tongue resting on the bottom of your mouth, or is it on the roof of your mouth? Now, your tongue position should always be in the roof of your mouth. And what you'll find is, as soon as you put your tongue up on the roof of your mouth, your neck will come back. Tongue is one of the most powerful muscles in the body, and actually, it's linked by fascia to your diaphragm, your hip flexors, the backs of your knees, and the bottom of your feet. So you can also change your gait, your neck position, your hip flexors, how tight they are, by doing a tongue pull. So you can get a piece of tissue and just hold your tongue out. And normally when I do this with clients, I'm standing up and I'm showing them while they're lying down, and my gait will always change. If I've got one tight hip flexor rather than the other, they do tend to equalize. So get yourself a piece of tissue and pull your tongue, see what happens. And what you might find is, if you do find that your tongue does sit on the bottom of your mouth, once you do a tongue pull, it might be a lot easier for you to have it on the top of your mouth, and then that will change your neck position, and you'll come from this text neck. People get really painful necks and shoulders because everything's connected, so if you can then get your tongue to rest on the top of your mouth rather than the bottom, your neck position will then come back, which will aid the lymph flow, reduce pain, reduce tension, it'll improve brain fog. You know, and all these things are free. This is just, you know, things that you can do for yourself. But I really can't stress enough how important your neck position is in relation to how your lymph drains from your brain, and also how your vagus nerve operates. And you know, it is all about coming from that sympathetic, busy stress. I'm just looking out for dogs. Sorry. You know, to come into that parasympathetic rest and digest, because we cannot heal while we're running from a tiger. Like, it's impossible. So, you know, if you've undergone any operations, any surgery, it's really important that you're able to bring your body into that parasympathetic rest and digest and heal stage, because if you're busy and your blood and your lymph is not flowing correctly around your body, and it's staying, you know, in your arms and legs for you to run, or hoover, or go to Asda, or run to Tesco, or pick the kids up, you know, the body can't go back into that beautiful homeostasis. So it's really, really important that we're able to get ourselves into that parasympathetic rest, digest, and heal. And, you know, coming back to the diaphragmatic breathing, that is the easiest and quickest way, not only to impact your lymphatic system, but to bring yourself into that calm state. And, you know, I know that, you know, we've been talking about this for a lot of people have been talking about this for a long time, but, you know, it's just as simple as putting your hands on your rib cage, and as you breathe in, can you feel your hands coming apart, and as you breathe out, do they come in? A bit like a corset, you know. So, and then breathing out and coming into that, you know, 4 and 6 breath. So breathing in for 4 and out for 6. And that is one of the quickest way to bring you into the parasympathetic state and get your lymphatics really pumping around your body. And I would actually, if I'm doing a lymphatic session for somebody, I actually get them to change their breathing to this first, because then as I start working with the body, it's just easier, you know. And also it just gets them into the habit of doing it, because remember, we have to work our lymphatics every single day. You know, we don't just do it once a week. We really want to be doing it every single day, and starting your day with it, and then doing your movements. So that's, you know, the bouncing up and down, you know, the opposite limbs, the lunges, the, you know, the calf pumps. So, you know, I do it every single day. I also, you know, use a face brush every day. I body brush maybe 3 times a week. And then I'll maybe do a full lymphatic session on myself. Maybe, I would like to say once a week, but it's definitely not that, because you know, I'm like everybody else, I get busy. So once every 3 weeks, I would say, like, I do like a proper lymphatic session on myself. And that way, you know, you're not going to get that adaptation response where you feel like absolute guff the next day. You know, I always warn clients what happens, you know, after they have a lymphatic session, especially if they've never experienced it before, because there's just so much debris. There's so much old debris in there. And a lot of that is because we don't move. You know, we maybe go for a walk, but we're not actually moving our body correctly a lot of the time. And, you know, most of us do sit far too much. I know that I do. But yeah, so big 6, really start working on your diaphragmatic breathing throughout the day, because then you'll be working your lymphatic system, you know, throughout the day. And just really think about that tongue position and getting your neck back into a balanced position. Your ears are supposed to be right over your shoulders, but if you get somebody to take a picture of you from side on, you'll find that most people are like away out here, and that's not going to help the vagus nerve or your lymphatic drain. So I will see you on Friday. My house will not be full, so there'll be no wind. And I really hope that you've been able to hear me today, and have a fantastic day, everybody.